Cisco Secure Workload, Retail Web Services Mandate, web ports only, and access to shared services. All right, let's get going. Let's go to Defend, Segmentation, create a new workspace. We'll give it a name, Web Services Retail Mandate, and a description. We're only going to allow 80.443, 80.80, 30,001, and it's going to be NTP services and DNS services having access from the web services into shared services. But we're going to walk through that policy. So the scope is going to be retail. And we're going to go ahead, just like we've done in a couple others, we're going to do an allow here for catch-all. That means anything that we haven't defined will fall under the catch-all allow. All right, let's go ahead and create our policies here. So the first one's going to be from the root scope into the retail web services. So web services retail. We are going to set the ports here, allow for 80, and then we're going to add the additional ports that we require to meet the policy mandate. So 8080. And we can delete ports here as well. We can also put in a range. 443, and we'll go ahead and add 30,001. All right, that looks pretty good there. Let's go ahead and create another policy. And this next policy is going to be allowing that web services retail access to the shared services, UDP 123 and UDP 53 for both time and DNS services. So retail to shared services. Infrastructure production, we're going to be specific here, UDP 123. Go ahead and create, and very quickly let's add 53, and again UDP is the protocol. All right, so we've got these two allows, and you might be thinking, wait a minute, there's a catch all allows, so all we've done is allow. Well, now we're going to build out our denies. So in fact, we're going to deny everything from the root scope, my org, into retail. Any protocol block. And we are going, and you notice we've changed the priority to 110 because we want the two allows to hit first, then denies for these two policies, and then the next one will be catch all allow. So anything else that we've missed, because we're not doing full micro-segmentation here, would fall under that catch all allow. So we're going to do retail to shared services. Again, any, we're going to deny. So we've got this top policy that allows us access into the web ports. Then we've got shared services access. And then we've got a bunch of denies and then a catch-all. Okay, before we apply policy here, let's just make sure services is working as expected. So this is a host out on the outside in that root scope. And we're going to go ahead and get to 8080 on the two nodes, both production and test. And then we'll go into the Weave SOC sites as well. And we've got 4 nodes serving off that site. And they're all accessible. So we've got 8080 and we've got 30,001. Everything looks good here. Let's go ahead and SSH, make sure that our SSH policies are still in fact working. And that looks pretty good there too. Let's go ahead and move this into enforcement mode. And let's quickly review here. Everything looks good so far. We've got our denies and we've got our allows. We've got our default catch-all allow. We see the host that it's going to be applied to. And we see all the policies. Now you can see them building here. So we've got quite a few. Now, retail web services, we'll give it a name. Go ahead and enforce. We're good to go. Let's go ahead and test. Let's check the IP tables real quick here. And we'll grab HTTP, and we can see HTTP, HTTPS, HTTP alternate. That's the 8080, and then 30,001. Okay, so we know policy's been deployed. let's go ahead and make sure that we can actually get to these pages still. We'll do a quick refresh. So far, so good. 8080 is working. What about this one here on port 80? And then we've got 30,001 on the next three here. And let's just surf around here, make sure everything looks good. Get a pair of socks. And it's working. Everything's set so far, so that's good, at least from a web services perspective. Now let's go ahead and let's see if SSH is still in play here. We didn't break that. And in fact, we're good. We're able to SSH. Remember, this is the management system. All right, let's go ahead and curl to a service in the DMZ here from our production system. And we're just going to pick a random port. What we're trying to do is trigger a reject on Cisco Secure Workload. It's not allowed. Okay, so let's go ahead and check this out here. Back in Cisco Secure Workload, get rid of permitted and escaped, and let's look at rejected. And here we are, right at the bottom here. We see rejected, absolute policy, P1 to T1. There's your IPs. There's that port 8112. And very quickly, we can see the policy in play here, which is a deny. And we can test. So let's go to an outside host and let's pick a port that we know is or should be accessible. There's an allow here. So there's 80. There's 8080, again, should be allowed. And then let's do port 22. Now this is a deny. Remember, the asset that we did earlier is 129 that should be able to SSH. That's the jump box. 443. And allow there as well. And finally, let's test out 30,001. We know the result says it should work, and in fact, the policy is showing that as well. Now, if I do 8443, we get a deny. Pretty easy.